First off, I'm sorry about the quality on this video. It's it's dark outside, so I'm having to use this shitty indoor light. So anyway, the quality's bad. But today, and I'm not sure if this video is going to be long or short, and probably it will air on the shorter side. But I just kind of wanted to talk about something I've wanted to talk about since starting this channel, and that is, like, what is God to me? This kind of idea, because I don't know, I wasn't brought up religious, and I'm not religious, and I don't believe in God in the traditional sense of this universal creator, this anthropomorphized figure who decides and selects paths and creates worlds, whatever. But 2 or 3 years ago, I got really deeply into Buddhism and into meditation, and through that, I encountered what I would consider to be a god, and not in that sense, but what it was, and I don't really know where I'm going with this video, but I sort of just wanted to talk, I feel like, was God to me became a universal presence that connected things rather than a single individual thing. God became everything, not just one individual. And I found it inside of nature and inside of man-made objects and inside of humans and inside of myself. And yeah, I mean, that's what it became. It was this kind of connecting energy. And if you want to look at it on a purely scientific level, kind of just the fact that everything is made of the same things, and so everything is the same. And me and this cat tree that my phone is sitting on at the moment, because I've got cats, yeah, are the same thing. They're made of the same thing. They have the same energy. They're both part of this universe and are no different from one another. And the same applies for humans and for cats and for animals. And I would sit there and I'd meditate and I would take a deep breath in and I'd let my eyes blur and I'd listen, and everything would meld into one thing, and all the sounds of the birds and the lawnmowers and whatnots would all become just this one sound of the universe, this entire thing that's together. And all my sights would become blurred into this one thing, and the grass and the cat wouldn't be two separate things, but they would just both be the same thing, and that would be the universe, or God, if you want to call it that. And for me, that's what God was. God was the universe. It was just everything together, and myself included, and nothing was individual anymore. That was the key breakdown of the discovery of God, was the cessation of a dualistic mindset. So that's kind of, it's a Buddhist idea from Zen Buddhism, and it's this idea that people see themselves as an observer and the world, and people see every single thing in the world, like this water bottle and this water bottle cap, as two different things. But in reality, they're not. It's all the same thing. And that was the mindset shift that led me towards that kind of internal discovery of that. And I mean, once you figure out that, lots of things can happen. And that's where I believe most religion came from, really, because once you can realize that everyone is exactly and identically the same, and not even just people, then you develop a real sense of compassion for every single thing in the world, because all of it is doing the same thing as you. It's all just existing inside of the universe, and everything is suffering in its own little ways. That's a very Buddhist idea. You don't have to agree with that bit. But yeah, I mean, that's what it kind of became. God became not an individual thing, but the acceptance of a universal connectedness. And I read this quote, I'm not sure it was by maybe Wittgenstein, it sounds like the kind of shit he'd talk about. But it said, basically, God is the word people use to explain the human condition. And on a level that kind of rang true. And I thought about it and I was like, do you know what? Yeah, maybe God is the word that people use to describe this kind of sense of connectedness that they can't necessarily describe in other words. And I mean, everyone feels it. That's the whole point, is you all feel this kind of thing, this energy that connects people. You feel this sort of unity. That's the word. But you can't describe it. And the word used to describe it, I guess, is God. And what that teaches is love. It teaches equality, and it teaches the fact that we're the same. And I mean, that's the magic of it for me, because I'm not a big fan of organized religion. I'm not a big fan of, well, yeah, organized religion. I think it teaches people to think in a very specific way based off of nothing. Because I've read the Bible, and you know what? I really enjoy the Bible. It's a very good book. But when I look at modern Christianity, other than very, very tiny parts of it, I don't see any evidence of real religion inside of it anymore, because real religion is beautiful. And the whole point of it is about compassion and about love. But I think what organized religion becomes is about division and arbitrary rules. Because when I think about these things, even if we are to take God as a real person, a real thing, to then say that he would care so much about these rules that religion creates, I find stupid. Not to offend anyone. Stupid is a bad word. I take that one back. But I don't think he would care, is basically my point. I think modern religion and the dogma surrounding it has come so far from where religion started that is crazy. Because if you read the Bible and you read the Quran, and if you read these original Buddhist sutras, they are all the same thing. They talk about the same things. They all talk about exactly that. They talk about compassion and love thy neighbor, and the core messages inside of all of these things are compassion and love and unity and equality. Yet what modern religion does is it divides. Modern religion is completely contrary to the reasons why religion started and the actual beauty inside of them all. And I think you can find God, and you can find, well, God without religion, because he's personal and is supposed to be. And I think that's the problem, is you have a lot of people now who believe in a God that they've never experienced. And you have people who for the past 70 years have gone to Sunday Mass, yet they've never actually had an experience with any sort of God or spiritual being. And they just believe it. And they don't understand it. And they think that God is stories, and they think God is turning water into wine. But no, it's the unity, and it's an energy, and it's something that's inside of everyone, and everyone equally. It's not like gay people aren't touched by God or black people aren't touched by God. This is bullshit and divisive, and just the parts of religion that seek only to divide for no reason. But really, what God is an individual experience and an individual feeling of cosmic unity. And that's the beauty of it, and that's the compassion of it. And I'm going to drink some water. But yeah, I mean, I'm sorry if I've offended anyone, or anything I've said here has been offensive to religion, and I don't mean it to be. I don't know. I mean, try, and if you are religious, I mean, talk in the comments, tell me about it. But have you experienced it? That's what I want to know. That's just basically that's the question I have, is if you're someone that's followed religious dogma for so long, since you were a child, have you experienced it yourself? I don't know, do you think you would have come to the same conclusion about the existence of God if you hadn't grown up in that kind of family? And I mean, I didn't grow up in that kind of family, and I came to somewhat that conclusion about God and about the existence of this God. But I don't know if we consider it the same thing, because I think one thing is based off of experience and one is based off of belief, and neither is bad. And I mean, I'm not trying to diss anyone again, but yeah, I just wanted to talk about this. I feel like I've not, and that's something I wanted to do since the start of this channel, was just to talk about what I believed God to be. And it is this kind of unitary energy that teaches, basically, it just teaches love, and it teaches compassion. And it doesn't say love thy neighbor, but it says I am my neighbor. It says me and my neighbor are the same person. Not the same person, the same thing. We are both the universe. We are both God. I'm not saying I'm God. I'm saying everyone is. I'm saying God is inside of everyone, because that is just what it is. It's a universal feeling and a universal unity and love. And I don't know where I'm going with this. I don't know what I'm trying to say with this. But they're the questions I wanted to ask. The things I wanted to pose. Some food for thought, I guess, to leave in the comments or in the Discord. Is that, yeah. What do you think God is? I've told you what I think. What do you think? Do you think the rules that religion imposes are necessary to believe in God? Do you think God is something above religion? Interesting. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what else to say really, but thank you for watching. And yeah, answer those questions in the comments and answer the questions in the Discord. We've got a philosophy channel over there. I'll leave the link in the description. But yeah, go answer those questions. I would be really interested to see what people put. I'd be interested to have a little debate on everything, which isn't normally what I want to say in YouTube comments. But anyway, let's go on Keyboard Warrior. And yeah, thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, and comment, please. Anyway, I'll see you in the next video.